Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm Ollie, it's Make Me That Guy, and today we are going to be talking about the art of storytelling. How to be a better storyteller. We all know that it's extremely attractive if you can hold court, you can have everyone interested in what you're saying, and the art of telling a good story, relaying the details of your life and your past experiences is going to make you a very attractive person to listen to, socialize with. It's a good skill to have, obviously. So we're going to give you the 6 major points which we see as being essential to the art of telling a good story. Before we get going, be sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Okay, so point number 1 in the art of storytelling is to speak with emotion. You need to transport your listener, your audience, to the place you were emotionally at that time. So let's think how you were emotionally and physically. So were you tired? Were you happy? Were you anxious? Were you late for something and thus anxious? And take the person there, put them in your shoes. You also have to put them in the emotional context. Had it been a long day at work? Had you been traveling for 9 months? Were you on your way back from your aunt's funeral? Had you just had the shit kicked out of you at a bus stop? All these things are going to put the emotional context in there as well. So having made it clear to your audience how you were feeling, what's going on in your life, which is going to affect the details and the action within this story, you've set the emotional context. You're then going to lead on into point 2. So point number 2 is description. Okay, you need to be descriptive. So thus, we need to describe the colours surrounding us. What was the weather like? What were the smells surrounding you? The random noises? Was there a cat walking past, meowing, adding to an ambience? It's again transporting your audience to an emotional place where they feel that they were there. Thus, you can't be descriptive enough. Use vivid imagery, descriptions of smells, colours, and of course, the characters within your story, which brings us on to our next point, is being dramatic and acting out the actual action of your story. And we can start that point with the characters. So let's think, if you've got a character who's old and miserable, act like you're old and miserable. If they're big and scary, act like they're big and scary. So we're going to sort of extend on this description and vivid imagery point to encapsulate describing the characters, acting them out, being dramatic with it. And we can go on from there into the use of different tones, accents, voices, hand movements to put more character into the story, into the characters, and into your emotions. You can act out your emotions, the emotions of the characters, and everything going on around you. So that has a kind of Hollywood-esque quality to the overall vibe of the story. You've had to employ your best skills as an actor to demonstrate why this is funny, and to an extent as a comedian as well, because by acting out these characters and whatever's happening in the story, you can really make it funny or scary or whatever direction you want to take it in. Okay, so that point of being dramatic, giving every detail of your story character through use of tone, expression, etc. It's really making a grander production, a theatrical production of your measly crappy little story. So thus, this point taken in mind, the next point is exaggeration. It's exaggeration not only of your physical traits or the physical traits of the people in the story, it's exaggeration in every sense. We want to take this from a small budget TV film to a Hollywood movie. That means exaggerate the actual details of the story themselves. It's not lying, it's a story. Stories are literally relating something of fantasy or a mixture of the truth and fantasy to somebody else. The art of a good story is the audience reaction. We didn't say this is a factual event based on only real facts, did we, at the start of it? We're just telling a good story. So exaggerate it. Make the dog in the story bigger and scarier. You didn't fall in a swimming pool, you fell in a lake and nearly drowned. I don't know, whatever your story is. You didn't climb up a small hill somewhere on the coast of England, you climbed Everest. Maybe don't want to exaggerate that much, but make things bigger and grander. In that way, they'll be funnier and cooler as well. So the exaggeration goes hand in hand with the dramatic effect. Make it bigger, make it cooler, make it more interesting to your audience. Okay, so our sixth and final point is the use of suspense, climax, and finally value. So 3 points in one. Suspense. Our story has to be leading up to something. We don't want to just end it as, so I finished my sandwich and got on the bus. What was the point of telling me that story? What have I been waiting for? You need to have a final punchline, a climax, something for us to look forward to, some value at the end. If I sit through your story waiting for the punchline, I want to hear it. So make sure it ends in a cool way. There's a crescendo, a climax, that I'm kept in suspense, waiting for that moment where I'm gratified with the value, which is the end of the story and the conclusion. And I can be like, whoa, bro, good story, dude. I'm going to steal that shit and make it a little bit funnier and tell it to all my future dates. Okay, gents, that was storytelling, the 6 most useful points to stick to. For more inquiries about what we do and how we can help you to tell better stories and be a better socializer in general, check out the website, makemethatguy.com. Be sure to subscribe, like, leave us some comments as always. Peace and love.